I haven't actually done a palette review in this setup yet, so I have literally no idea how I'm gonna put this mirror here without it being in the shot and how to hold this up without it. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Kenzie. If you did not know that, now you know. And you guys, today we are going to be playing, testing, and trying out the brand new Makeup Revolution London Precious Stones Ruby palette. I don't know why it took me so long to actually figure out the name of the palette, but I didn't know. Apparently this is one of Makeup Revolution's Precious Stones palettes, and this one is in the Ruby coloring. And I have actually never ever tried anything from Makeup Revolution before in my life, so I'm super excited about this. Are they kind of like a drugstore? I have the receipt. Let me see how much this was. This palette was $15. So yeah, definitely kind of on like the more drugstore kind of price point. And okay, so I was actually checking to see if these were new or not because I thought they were new. They have like rose quartz, amethyst, emerald, diamond, and the ruby versions. I actually found this one at the store at Ulta and I thought that it was really pretty, so I picked it up and now we're going to try it out and test it for you guys. So if you want to see the review that we end up doing on this baby right here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I've got you zoomed in now and I wanted to go through and just show you the palette up nice and close, and here is what the palette looks like. It is a very pretty sparkly. Please do not mind my nails, I need to paint them today. I will say I don't like this kind of packaging because it is very glittery to the touch. It would just kind of get everywhere. Here are the colors. They're so pretty in my opinion. I think they're freaking gorgeous. And I really want to do a few swatches of these. I haven't touched this palette yet. Oh my god, these are wild! Look at that. This one right here, it literally looks wet. All three of these do. They look wet, and this is absolutely incredible. Let me see if they swatch as good. This is so amazing. How have I never used a Makeup Revolution shadow before? I've been sleeping on these guys. Look at this. This is some of the most stunning shimmer metallic shades that I have seen in a very long time. Look at that. And let me wipe my hand off on my towel down here really quick. Don't mind me. So let's go into, we have a bunch of matte shades to play with. Wow, these feel very creamy as well. These are 3 matte shades and they're very pigmented, it seems. And let me actually try to swatch them on the back of my hand here. So not as good as those metallic shimmer shades, I'll definitely say that, but the thing is that swatches on the hand really don't matter. It all just matters how it performs on the eye. But I will say the matte swatches did not impress me as much as those metallic kind of foil swatches did. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I honestly I don't even know what look I want to play with today. I really honestly think I want to... Okay, here's what we're going to do. First shade we're going to go into right here is called Classy. It's this really pretty shade up here. We're going to go ahead and pick that up on a really big fluffy blending brush. This is a Morphe M504 and I still had some leftover product from the last time I did my makeup, so I'm just wiping that off. And then we're going to go ahead and pop her all over the lid, in the crease, basically all over the eye as a base. One thing I will say, a lot of fallout in the pan. You can see that right there. Obviously, I don't personally care about fallout in the pan all too much, but I do know some people don't care about that, or some people don't like that. So if you are one of those people, just know that there is a little bit of fallout in the pan. It's not too crazy though. Oh, you can see my mirror. I'm so sorry. I can't figure it. And I have also obviously done my face makeup. I really wanted to focus on the palette today. So I have already primed my eyes as well. I used the Bad Habit eye primer, but you can use whatever you want. If you want to use concealer, feel free to use that. So we're going to take that Classy shade and we are going to start in the crease and just kind of put her everywhere. This shade is super duper light, but it is blending and it's showing up, but it's blending really well. Look at that. That's blending so good. I'm gonna go back in just a teeny tad more and get just a little bit more on the brush and just kind of go back over it. That has really surprised me. That's a really good matte shade. It blended out perfectly. I don't have any kind of like skippies on my eye. I'm really into that. So let's go ahead and do the other eye. Well, okay, you guys, that blended out so nicely. I know I've said that before, but that's really great. Next up, I want to go into the shade Date Night. Right down here, right down there. And I'm gonna take that on a smaller, not this big old brush right here, but on a smaller M573 brush. And if you can see, this one has like a little point to it, so it's really easy to really get directly into the crease. So we're gonna take Date Night and put it right there directly in the crease. We're not gonna blow it out to out here like we did the first shade. We're gonna keep it right here, baby. What was it? Oh, this is so pretty. This one is not as pigmented as I thought that it was going to be, which I actually think is fine. One thing I want to state on here, on the back of this, it actually says pressed pigments. So right here, right there, it says pressed pigment. So I don't know if, oh, okay, so they have a star. So the ones that are starred are pressed pigments, not actually eyeshadows. Cool. So basically pressed pigments are technically not meant to be used around the, you know, immediate eye area, but I usually do that anyways. So I think this one may actually be a pressed pigment. I'm actually gonna go back in with a little bit of Classy and really just bluff these two together. We're gonna buff these two together and really smoke out that first shade at the top here. And I think that's good for that eye. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye really quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this laid down. The one thing I will say, this Date Night shade is very pretty, but I did notice that I had to go back into it a few separate times just to get the pigment built up enough. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I personally don't think it's a bad thing. As long as the pigment will actually build and not like stick to itself and get muddy and everything, I think that that is totally fine. I think that it blended really nicely. I think that it kind of worked with the first shade we put down. If you do see, I have a couple of little skippies right here, but this is my left eye and I do have a lot more issues with my left eye. It's a lot more hooded than my right eye is, and it usually tends to be a lot more dry. So I feel like it has a lot more wrinkles than my right eye does. And that's not a fault of the actual shadows because they can't help that my eye's messed up. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just continue on. Next, I want to deepen up the outer corner a bit. To do that, we're gonna go into the shade, this one right here, which I believe is Flirt. Yeah, we're gonna go into the shade Flirt and we are gonna deepen up those outer corners. And I'm using a BH brush for this. It's the number 8 brush. It looks like this. It's in a set and it's kind of like a white and black marble. And I believe this one is also a pressed pigment as well, so. Ooh, okay. I'm really focusing this one only on the outer portion of the eye, and I'm gonna bring it into the crease, maybe to about here. You can kind of already see where I've done that. I'm not gonna bring it all the way into the crease, like in here or anything. We're just gonna focus it on the outer portion and then just bring it in just a little bit. Just like that, just to give a tiny extra bit of definition on there. I think that's really pretty. I like that a lot. One thing I will say is that I wish I would have seen that these two shadows were very similar shades. See, in the pan, when you look at it, especially on camera, this shade right here looks a lot darker than this shade. It just looks more vibrant, if you will. And this one in person on the eye, it kind of blends in to the other shade, the Date Night shade we put down first. So they are very similar and they do kind of blend into each other. Just keep that in mind that these two shades are a bit more similar. Okay, that's that. I really like this. It's very pink right now. I forget which one of these I liked the most. It was these two. I really love these two. This one is Buff and this one is Admire. I think it's the Buff shade. We're gonna use that one. And I don't actually know if these shades are going to pick up just fine on my finger. We'll try that first. Okay, so the finger, I just spat. The finger is definitely a no. So let me go ahead and grab a little bit of MAC Fix Plus and we'll try using a brush. Yeah, it's not picking up on the brush either, like at all. Look at that. Like nothing. Man, my hand is very dirty. Are these glitters? These are not glitters. They don't even look like glitters. I'm so confused as to what you're supposed to do. Maybe you have to use the finger, but like do like a more sweeping motion. Let's try that. Oh, that seems to work a bit better. To where you're not actually like just dabbing it on. You have to kind of like, once you place it down, like pull down to kind of make the product come off your finger. That seems to work a lot better. Oh, that is very pretty though. That is really pretty. I wish that it would have worked a bit easier, but now that this is down, that is a very pretty shade. I love the light purple, kind of like ethereal vibes. You get a little too much on your finger, it really ends up just like flaking. If you can see that right there, it just ends up flaking off. And it kind of does that on your lid as well. If you can see right here, it looks like I have, you know, this is gonna sound so weird, you know, like gold paper that people like put on stuff, like the gold eating paper. It looks like that. If you have too much in one area, it kind of just starts to bunch up. But I'm gonna leave it like this. I think this is super pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye really quick. Okay, so that's laid down, very beautiful. I love this. I'm gonna actually deepen up these outer corner shades again because on this side I went a little too ham and covered it up. Let's go ahead and do the inner corner. For the inner corner, I'm gonna use this shade called Sassy. Right here, there's a really beautiful white shimmer. Ooh, really pretty. I like that a lot. Next, we're gonna do the bottom lash line. And for this, we're gonna go pretty smoky. So I'm actually gonna take the shade Date Night again, and we are going to go ahead and just smoke that all along the bottom lash line. I'm using a Morphe M506 brush to do this just because it's pretty small and you can kind of like really buff it out. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that Flirt shade, that darker shade, and put that kind of over top just so it's not so purpley down here. Oh, I went really smoky, a little more than I thought that I was going to, but you know, it's fine. And I think this is pretty much going to be it for the eyes, you guys. That rhymed. I'm going to go ahead and do some mascara really quick. I'm going to be using the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be right back, and then we'll be done. Well, we'll do lips, and then we'll be done. I swear, I haven't worn mascara or any makeup in like a week. It feels so good. Okay, so I've got my mascara and everything on. Next, the last thing we're gonna do today is lipstick. I actually don't know why I haven't used these in a video yet, but I got the Safiya Nygaard X Colourpop collection when it first came out. I've had this for so long already. I have it right here. I put it out so I would see it. I'm thinking I want to do something that's pretty nude because, I mean, the eyes are very pink. Mrs. Norris or Bikini Bottom. So Mrs. Norris is pretty dark. It's quite a dark nude, kind of like a brown. And then Bikini Bottom is a bit of a nuder shade. I think I'm gonna go with Bikini Bottom. We'll try this, and then I do have a gloss from Makeup Revolution as well that I wanna try right here, just a clear gloss, and I wanna see how this works. Oh, this is really nice. I like this a lot. Last but certainly not least, we have the Makeup Revolution Pout Balm Plumping. Oh, it's plumping. I didn't know that. So here's what this looks like, and we're gonna go ahead and just throw this on top. Oh, Oh, it's starting to burn. It's starting to burn. The shine is really pretty. The shine is lovely. I'm loving the shine. Wow. I hate the burn. I can't oh, it tastes awful. Oh, it tastes so bad. Oh. And you guys, this is the final look that we did end up creating with the Makeup Revolution Precious Stones Ruby palette. A few things about this palette. I really enjoyed it overall. I thought it was really beautiful. I'm very shocked. I've never used a Makeup Revolution product in my life until now, so I had literally no way to know how good these would be. A couple things that I will say is that the Date Night shade and the Flirt shade, in my opinion, are a little too similar whenever you actually apply them to the eye. In the pan, they do look quite different, but on the lid, they do look very similar. I only used one of these. I used the Buff shade right here, but it really took a lot of working with. Once you got the hang of it and once you got it going, it worked perfectly. But I was a bit confused as to why the figure wasn't working at first, and then I switched to a brush and the brush really didn't work. It did not want the brush at all, but then kept on working with it and it ended up working just fine. I would definitely give this palette a solid like A, because it is actually really good. There were a couple of things here and there that, you know, knocked it down just a teeny tiny bit, but literally nothing to like write home about. I don't like this packaging at all. I really don't like it. It's very glittery. But yeah, you guys, that is going to be the look for me today in the video. Do you have this palette? What are your thoughts on Makeup Revolution as a company as a whole? Do you have any of their palettes? Do you have any tips for me to try out? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know that. But yeah, you guys, it is going to be the video for today. I really hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, then go ahead and click up that like button for me and then subscribe if you want to. If you want to see the videos that I post and when I post them, click the little bell down at the bottom there. Again, my name is Kenzie. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!